Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rudi and thank you so much for being here. Today's video is something that I have been wanting to film for a really long time because my roots come from the drugstore. I know that I talk about a lot of high-end makeup on my channel like Tower 28 and a lot of stuff that you can buy at Sephora, and I actually just got my Sephora Rouge re-upped for the next year, so obviously I spend a lot of money on high-end makeup. However, I have been a fan of YouTube, of makeup, of the beauty community since I was maybe in the 6th grade, and I have been trying and testing drugstore makeup for literal years, and I have found the things that I would consider easily confused as high-end makeup. Like when I use these products that I am wearing right now, people always think I'm wearing high-end makeup, and some of these things are less than $3. Here is a close-up of the finished look. It is super peachy, glowy, pink focused, very non-glittery but glassy-like skin. And if you want to achieve this look for under, keep watching. Also, if you are new here, like I said, my name is Rudi, and I would love for you to subscribe because we definitely talk about more than just makeup on this channel. In fact, we talk about acne a lot, we talk about skincare, we do a little bit of fashion, we do vlogging, and I would love to have you join. Before we get right into the makeup, I do want to preface by saying that I have been having a really hard time with my skin, as I do every summer, and I'm planning on making a whole video about my experience with acne in the summer and what I believe is fungal acne, and I'll zoom in and show you everything in that video and kind of talk about the struggle. The reason I haven't made that yet is because I'm still figuring out my treatment for that, and I'm in talks with my dermatologist, and because of that, I'm not going to be showing an actual coverage product for the whole face because I'm trying to avoid anything that is super oily or that is going to irritate my skin. So I'll show you a little bit here. So it's just a very, very mad situation. This happens every single summer, and I am on an antifungal right now to try and clear it up. As you can see, the lower half of my face looks great, and then my forehead is a mess. So in an effort to keep that from getting worse, I'm just going to start with concealer. These products are my absolute go-tos. I think that you can easily achieve a very beautiful glowy look with drugstore makeup. I tend to go for higher end products, but that does not mean I don't know where I came from. I came from the drugstore, honey. Trust me, I was the queen of finding dupes back when I was in college and high school and had no money. So we are going to go in with a concealer to start, and this is the e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer. I have talked about this many times on my channel. It is a very beautiful, lightweight, brightening concealer that is a dupe for the YSL Touche Éclat, and I love it so much that I already have a backup. And I'm really not a person to buy backups, but there's not much product in here, and it's pretty easy to go through it. And I want you to know that this is not going to provide a high level of coverage. So if you feel like you need that coverage under your eye, I would recommend going in with a color corrector first. And I do have a drugstore option for that as well. The Pixi by Petra Brightening Peach Under Eye Corrector is amazing. You can find this at Target. It works very, very well. So if you wanted to have that bright under eye that is like a lighter coverage, go in with a peach corrector first and then go in with your concealer. And it makes all the difference and allows you to still have that light coverage. I'm gonna go over just a few little marks up here to help with some of this redness. I like to use a beauty blender with this product because it is so lightweight and I feel like it just blends instantly. But if you want to use a brush, you absolutely can to kind of amp up the coverage a little bit. It's really not going to give you much coverage even if you do use a brush, so don't expect too much, but it does make a difference. You guys know how much of a fan I am of the Tarte Hydro Sealer. This is my #1 concealer of all time, and I would say that the e.l.f. one is very similar. It has a little bit less coverage, but if you want that look for less, especially a lot less, this is $5. Definitely pick this up. You can get like 4 of these for the price of this concealer. They look similar, except for this one has a little bit less coverage. I'm going to lightly set some of the areas of my face with the Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder. I have mine in shade Natural Beige. This is the matte and poreless powder. I don't love using setting powders for most days, but I find that if it's really hot and sticky and gross outside, I like to have a little light layer of powder on my T-zone. And honestly, I would just go in with a very large fluffy brush with this product because it'll just add the tiniest bit of powder coverage without really doing too much, and it helps set your face a bit. People love this powder, and they also love the loose powder. I mean, people go crazy for the loose powder. I'm pretty sure I don't have it anymore just because I'm not a loose powder person, but I have tried it and people are obsessed. The Fit Me line is amazing. I love the Fit Me foundation, especially if you need a higher coverage foundation. Amazing, amazing line. Also, the Dewy line is great. For such a great price, Maybelline really knows what they're doing with coverage products. Big fan. I think that my favorite step in any routine with makeup is bronzer, and I just noticed I have quite a few drugstore bronzers that I pick from and use all the time. I'll tell you my two current favorites, one being the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. I have talked about this in a few other videos. It is a beautiful cream bronzer that is probably better for people who have oily skin, but can totally work on dry skin as well. It's like a cream to powder texture. It is matte / natural finish, but I would say matte. This is in shade Golden Days. It blends seamlessly. It's not too high coverage. It lasts all day. It's very, very beautiful, but I do want to use a more radiant bronzer today. And one that is honestly not talked about very much. This is the Revlon Skin Lights bronzer, and this is in the shade Sunkissed. This bronzer is stunning. Stunning. And no one really talks about this line. They also have highlighters from this line, of the Skin Lights line, and like they got praise for like a little while and then nothing. This bronzer is amazing. It's like the most perfect shade, but it has this little bit of sheen to it. It's not glittery, it's not sparkly, it's not shimmery, but it just has a sheen, which is the most natural finish of a bronzer in my opinion. Also, because it's powder, it really is going to work on everyone and be very easy to apply for beginners. And it's from Revlon. Like, you really can't beat it. And also the embossing on the actual pan, come on, it's stunning. You know, I like to kind of go overboard with bronzer, especially on my nose. So I'm just going to literally put this pretty much everywhere. I'm trying to avoid the acne, but sometimes you just gotta bronze everywhere. I just think it looks so natural and beautiful because it has that little bit of sheen. This is a high-end bronzer packaged in a drugstore. Like, you guys have got to pick this up. It's so underrated, and it's also very large. It really gives me like Anastasia Beverly Hills vibes, and it did not get the love that it deserved. So if you are looking for a new bronzer and you just don't know where to start, absolutely pick this up. Okay, so for blush, my highest performing short on my YouTube channel, which a short is basically, if you see these on my page, they're basically TikToks that YouTube is trying to take. Everybody is trying to go for TikTok's ass, and so they just started all doing short form video. So I've been uploading some on my channel, so if you see videos that are like a minute or less, that's what that is. But my highest performing short is talking about this blush. This is the Wet n Wild Makeup Stick, which like that is not the most beautiful name for a blush. Wet n Wild Makeup Stick in the blush shade in Peach Bums. So the reason that this has kind of gone viral that I've seen online is because it is a supposed dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury blush wand. It's stunning. It's just the most perfect peachy gold shade. It kind of reminds me of the OG NARS blush in Orgasm. It's just a very, very beautiful peach that has a gold shift. And honestly, when you use this blush, you do not need a highlighter. Like, you do not need a highlighter. And I will say, if you have textured skin and you don't like drawing attention to that, I don't really know if this is going to be the product for you because it is so highlighty. It does have a little bit of shimmer in it, and that peach shade is underlying, but that gold shade is really going to be what highlights your face. And that's why so many people like the Charlotte Tilbury, because it's a very natural highlighted look. I will say there is a difference between this and the Charlotte in terms of texture. This is another sort of cream to powder formula. I don't say it dries down to a powder, but it is sort of moussey, and it's not a typical cream product, and it's definitely not a liquid product, which is kind of more of what the Charlotte is. So when using this product, I like to be very light-handed, and I prefer to go in on a brush and then apply rather than going straight in, because I find that you have better control over the product and its pigmentation, because again, this is a very brightening product. And because I'm dealing with acne, I really want to make sure that I have full control over the pigmentation and how much goes on. So again, I'm going in with a very light hand to start so that I can build it up, because I want to make sure I don't go overboard, because you very easily can with this product. And it is gorgeous. Like, I really love the finished look, and I think that if you have really nice skin and you're just looking for sort of a one and done product, Penelope. I also will say that this product is not deep enough for deep skin tones. It's barely a blush on my skin tone, and I would consider myself to be light to medium. So just be aware of that. If you have medium skin, it will work on you, but anything over medium to tan skin tone, it's just gonna look a little chalky. They do have other shades, I will say, and people really like this formula, so give it a shot. There are other shades of this blush. This just happens to be the one that's most popular because it is a dupe of a Charlotte product. So as you can see, it looks great, but it definitely is quite sheeny. I mean, it's going to give you that sheen not just on the highlighted areas of your face, but on the apples of your cheek where those pores are. So be aware of that. But it is absolutely beautiful, especially when you're looking at someone from afar. You're like, wow, she is just glowing. I really do like it. I think that it adds such a beautiful glow to the entire face and to your entire look. Definitely something to pick up if you are looking for the Charlotte Tilbury product, because it has been out of stock for almost like 6 months, I feel. Even though I don't need to highlight with this blush, I'm going to, because I want to talk about my favorite drugstore product of all time, a product that I will be wearing on my wedding day, a product that I have had since the dawn of time and that will last me for the rest of my life, and that is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This highlighter is everything to me. It was the first highlighter that I ever tried where I realized, oh, I really actually don't have to go beaming from space highlighter, even though that was kind of what was popular at the time. If you remember, like, everybody was wearing like the crazy highlighters, the Jaclyn Hills, the Manny MUAs of the world, and I never felt like those looked good on me until I found this highlighter. I was fully convinced that highlighters were just not for me until I found this highlighter, and then I just went balls to the walls. I'm gonna go in with a tiny little fan brush from e.l.f. This is just the e.l.f. fan brush because, again, I really don't need much highlight here, but I want to show you how beautiful and subtle this is. And also, it is $3. This is a $3 highlighter, and it works very similarly to an Hourglass highlighter. It's also I don't want to say it's a baked formula. I'm not really sure what to call it, but it kind of feels, yeah, baked highlighter powder. It's in the shade Be My Highlight. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to really show you just how beautiful it is in this video because the blush I had on is so lit from the gods. But I will put some on my hand so you can see the full swatch. It is just the most naturally, I mean, look at that. It's almost like if you were taking a photo and someone wanted to Facetune it to put highlight on it. This is what that is in a pan. It doesn't have any shimmer. It doesn't have any glitter. And when you look at it, you're like, well, that doesn't really look like anything. It's more like a finishing powder, kind of like the Hourglass ones. But when it is dusted on the skin, it just gives you that natural luminosity as if you had been on a tropical island. It's just beautiful. You can't overdo it. I'm going to put it here in the inner corner. You can't overdo it because it is such a lightweight baked formula with no glitter or shimmer and barely any color. So it really is very easy for all people. They have multiple shades. They actually came out with a bronzed version recently, which I haven't tried just because I don't really think I want it for that purpose. I like it for the highlighting purpose that I use it for. So I will be wearing this on my wedding day, and I will be doing my trial video very soon. So keep a lookout for that. I did just purchase a new foundation and a couple new blushes to test out, but absolutely this will be on my face on my wedding day. All right, so far we're looking peachy. We're looking very glowy, very very natural. So let's kick it up a notch with some eyeshadow. In my opinion, and I know we're kind of talking about Revlon a lot in this video, the Revlon Color Stay Cream eyeshadows are the easiest one and done shadows outside of my ColourPop shadows. And I did want to mention ColourPop in this video, but I decided not to because it's not technically a drugstore brand. You kind of have to go out of your way to get it. You have to like go on the ColourPop website or go to Ulta, whereas you can truly go to your drugstore, your local Walgreens, and buy all of these products. And I wanted to kind of stick to that. These Revlon shadows are so underrated. I have, what, 3 or 4 of them. And I want to talk about my favorite 3. This is in the shade High Roller. Oh, wait, sorry, this is a Maybelline one, but still very similar. This is the Maybelline Color Tattoo in High Roller. It has that similar cream consistency, which I still love, but let's focus on the Revlon ones. This was my OG cream eyeshadow, and this is the Revlon Color Stay in the shade 730. It is just a classic pinky champagne shade. Again, no glimmer, no glitter, no shimmer, just like a beautiful sheen. And this is in the shade 705. And this one is more of like a natural highlighter gold shade. So I am going to use 730 on the entire eye and then put a little bit of the gold in the inner corner. You can apply these in many different ways, but I just like to go in on my finger and run it all along the entire lid and through the crease. You really cannot go wrong with these. They are so beautiful. And also, because they have such a wide shade range, I think any skin tone can find one that will work for them. This one is by far the most natural in my opinion. It just gives you like a little bit of a champagne wash. And that's kind of what I think mimics those high-end eyeshadows, is just like a very sheeny wash. Sorry to do my eyeshadow with my middle finger. A very sheeny, glossy wash of color is what to me tricks the eye into thinking, oh, that's a high-end color. That's like a Charlotte Tilbury style product. So I just kind of go in until I feel like it looks shiny enough, and then it dries down and does not crease. It goes from sort of that mousse texture to a full-on non-creasing powder style eyeshadow. When I met my husband, I was wearing this eyeshadow literally constantly. It was my go-to. And then for the inner corner, I am going to go in with a brush since I have big ass fingers and they have long nails on them right now. But we are really just going in with the highlight today. Maybe a little bit too much. But that to me is the telltale sign of a high-end makeup look, according to the trends right now. Is like, all right, so we've got pretty much our whole base done here. Let's focus on our eye accessories, if you will, mascara and brows. I love these more than high-end makeup. I think the rest of what I've talked about, I would say is equal to my high-end loves. No, these rise above any high-end makeup that I own. This is the Lash Paradise, Voluminous Lash Paradise from L'Oreal. L'Oreal makes the absolute best mascara out there. I prefer a natural bristle wand, and this one is not only that, but the formula is stunning and it has an hourglass shaped wand. If you have voluminous lash style and you want them to be separated and full, the Lash Paradise is where it's at. And then secondarily, the NYX The Brow Glue went viral online for a very good reason. It is a beautiful brow gel, completely clear, so everyone can use it. It keeps them in place. It doesn't keep them tacky. I will repurchase this for the rest of my life. So let's go in with these and then we'll come back and talk about the lip. Another place where the drugstore shines besides mascara is lipstick. You do not have to buy a high-end lipstick to have the look of a high-end lipstick. For example, my favorite lipsticks that are probably made at this point are the Revlon Super Lustrous Shine lipsticks. I've made a few videos about these. They are absolutely stunning, and I actually found a dupe in my collection of a very, very expensive high-end Gucci lipstick in that line, which is something we can talk about for another day because I'm planning an entire dupe video. But these are definitely my favorite lipsticks of the moment and give you that very high-end glossy shine with a hint of color. I do feel like I have to mention a OG lipstick though, where the Revlon ones are the perfect perfect glossy shine. The Wet n Wild Original Formula matte lipsticks are the absolute best matte lipsticks out there. I've had this one for a very long time. You can see that the top is even cracked. This is in the shade Bare It All, and this is actually the shade I'll be wearing on my wedding day. It is the absolute most perfect nude for my olive skin tone, so if you have olive skin, you have to pick this up. It's literally $2. What do you have to lose? I'm almost out of it. It is my favorite matte lipstick. I'm not going for that look today, but I did want to mention it because it is stunning. So the two that I kind of have to pick between today are shade Glaring Coral and Nude Illuminator from the Revlon line. I can swatch both of them for you. And I think I'm going to go with the pink because we're kind of having a little peachy pink moment here over the more coral shade, but they both are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I would recommend any lipstick in this line. I actually have a few others from this line and they're all perfect. So that's Nude Illuminator and that's Glaring Coral. And again, I think I'm going to go with this one. Boom. It's just so beautiful, so shiny. The most perfect nude pink for me. Amazing. Like I said, tons of colors in their line. You have to check them out. I love this look, and I think that if you saw someone in this look, you would easily think that they spent hundreds of dollars on it, when in actuality they spent this much. I don't know how much. I'm assuming it's like maybe $100, maybe a little bit more, but still. We've got a few Wet n Wild things, really inexpensive NYX, also inexpensive Essence, $3. Trust me when I say I have been testing drugstore makeup almost my entire life, and these things are things you can trust that I promise you will love. Please let me know down below if you ended up trying any of these products, if you have a favorite drugstore product. I definitely want to start buying a little bit more drugstore makeup and kind of getting into it because I feel like they're starting to dupe out really expensive, nice things, and I want to check that out. I will see you guys in the next video really soon. We're going to talk about my favorite snail mucin products, which I have a lot, so I will see you guys in the next video soon.